Welcome to City College today. This is our Wednesday afternoon online class. We'll be doing some Qigong, which will involve both the circling of all of the joints and also some other basic Qigong movements. And then we'll move after that into T'ai Chi Chih, 19 movements in one pose. And these are our final healing sounds. So to begin, we will begin with triple burner. Inhaling up. If you're on a stool like I am right now, this is actually very good for your breathing. So I kind of recommend it, particularly for the senior body. You're on your sits bones, which are at the edge of the stool. Your feet are solidly on the floor. And you have to have a stool that doesn't have sides. You're going to inhale up. And as you do this, feel the expansion in the rib cage and also in the belly. You're inhaling through the nostrils. That's causing the lungs to expand here. And as that happens, the diaphragm moves down. It moves up on the exhale and it moves down on the inhale. That's because as you expand the lungs, that expansion has to go somewhere and it goes downward with the diaphragm. And then as you exhale, the diaphragm comes back up as the lungs become smaller. So it's just a really interesting thing to think about because it means that we can then expand at the rib cage. So here would be possible expansion there. Placing your palms right here, right outside your breasts, but just underneath that area. Inhale out to expand the rib cage. Exhale back to contract the rib cage. And as you do that, feel how the belly is also expanding here with the rib cage. And as you contract, the belly will move towards the lower spine, towards what we call the Ming Men area, which is the lower back, the lumbar spine area. So once again, feeling this expansion, this is the accordion. And the contraction. And you can make up your names for any of these moves because the original names in Qigong will probably be different for English speakers. So I've called this myself the accordion because it's like a musical instrument. Good. We're going to do the three-part breath from yoga to transfer that over into Qigong. Your right hand will be on the belly, your left up here on the upper chest, right under the collarbones. And inhale, expanding the belly. Feel the breath come up through the rib cage and then towards the collarbones. And now exhale back down from the upper chest through the middle chest to the abdomen. In yoga, we would be closing our eyes, so you can try that. This just begins us in meditation with a three-part Dirgha Swasam breath in Sanskrit. But right now, we'll leave our eyes open if you want, so you can see what's going on. Okay, so you can see that expansion of my belly, of my rib cage, and all the way up here towards the collarbones. And notice something else as we contract down. So to inhale first. As we contract down, we don't drop the spine. So that's a principle in yoga. And the reason for that is that as you inhale up from the belly to the collarbones here, you want to make sure the cervical spine is staying the same when you exhale down. It's going to connect from the back of the skull all the way down to the Ming Men here when we transfer that to Qigong. So here you've inhaled, and now you're going to exhale down. And notice how you diminish the space in your ribs, but the point here at the crown of your head is not dropping down like that. Okay, so that's a real important principle because we want to encourage all of us, those of us who are seniors, to lengthen through the spine as much as possible. And those of you who are not seniors yet, it's important for you because you'll get to a point when the body starts to fall apart somewhat, and you have to fight it. Not fight it, but keep working on these things. Okay? So Qigong is important for that. So seated like this, you can inhale, taking a feather up, and lengthen down, exhale. And pretty much remain with a long spine, either standing or seated, so you can stand if you prefer. And feel it in the belly. That's why I love sitting, because you can immediately begin to connect to your Qigong. Seated has limitations of not being able to quite do the weight shift. So you can stimulate it by feeling it as this seems to move towards this hip. I can feel it in my buttocks back here on the right, on this side. And as I come down, I can feel I want to bring it to the other side. So there's some connection here that happens. We don't quite know how this all works mechanically, but over years of discovery, I've discovered that I'm inhaling more through this nostril here and exhaling more through the other when I come down. Now I'm exhaling through this nostril for you, the right, and I'll probably be exhaling towards your left as I come down. So that also affects the way we move the body forward and back for our weight shiftings. You can basically connect all the way through, including the nostril, on whatever side you're on. And when you come back, you're on the other side of the brain too, because you've got two hemispheres there, and you can bring it to the other side. All interesting quasi-scientific stuff, but it works to make this a moving meditation that we have in T'ai Chi Chih. If you begin to think that way, how can I integrate everything over on this side when I'm going there, and then everything back when I'm coming back on this side? And it's going to be partially through the breath. All right, so from here, if I slow down a bit, we're going to inhale and exhale. I feel that Qigong is actually more connecting in some ways, because I can't divide it into three, it's one. But you really learn how to breathe through the three-part breath because you learn how it works. And exactly where the energy is going. It's going here through all three dantians in Qigong. The highest being the head, the middle being the heart and lungs, and the abdomen being our first primary dantian, which is the belly here. Also called our energy sea or ocean, because it basically connects this energy from here back to the Ming Men, and it's transferred at the same time down to the feet. So when you're sitting, you can feel it. The inhale here and the slow exhale down. You can begin to feel that that's channeling down to your feet, even if you end it here at the abdomen. One more. Now let's do the accordion. And I won't explain it, just feel it. Feel your long spine. And let's stand for our next couple of Qigong movements. Now I'm in what I've also kind of heard from other people say, the rider on horse stance because mainly it makes sense to me. If I were on a horse now, I would be with something underneath me, and I would want to start just by channeling that sense of being on a horse into the stirrups. And I am feeling the bounce across the Mongolian plains in my heels. I look at my toes and I realize I have not brought my knees much farther down, and that's purposeful because for our bodies as seniors, we really don't need to be moving over that, any part of our upper body over that knee anymore. So lengthen through the spine, squat down just a little bit, look at your toes and see where you feel the connection from the Ming Men to the crown of the head. It should be pretty safe when you drop down. And you don't need to go much farther down than that, ever. All right, at least in what we're doing. Okay, we're going to now shift that way. Having released the knees a little bit, we'll release and shift side to side. This is your right side. This is your left. I am mirroring you. So if I shift towards my right, all the weight is in the substantial leg here. This leg is already lightened, and I can drop it forward. That would be for your left side, and we'll just try briefly around the platter and feel the energy move with your breath and your weight into that front leg, back to the other side and the other nostril. Connect both hemispheres of the brain. With your inhale here, on your left side with the circle moving outside of that left foot first, and then back to the other side and exhale through the nostril on that right side and just bring it back. Ground it. Let's shift again, coming first with your rider on horse stance, side to side. And your hips are actually parallel to your rug or your back wall. Good. Now shift over here to your left side and feel the weight into it. And notice how light the yin leg has become. That's your feminine leg. It's very light, so easily it moves forward with just the heel. And the best part about the rider on horse stance is that your foot back here is already at an angle, 45-degree angle to the front. That makes it possible to move forward and back fairly comfortably. Sometimes you have to alter how far back you are with that back foot, either making it longer or shorter for your body. And then to begin, we would bring the palms right here and go outside of that right leg, sending the energy from your right side back towards your left. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. All right, so that's some basic concepts about the shifting. And once we get started, I probably won't talk about that a lot today, so I'm doing it now. All right, so we've done a couple of Qigong movements. We've done this basic side to side and front back shift. I want to look at the forward back up down shift because that comes right away at the beginning of this practice here at rocking motion. And in rocking motion, you're coming forward, back, up and down. So here you won't need a really wide stance. You'll need, however, to have your heels in a place where you're right underneath your buttocks and your sits bones, essentially, these bones back here. And so you want all that connected. When you have the right width for that, then you can begin. You might want to open up a little bit depending on how much you need for your support. You would start here with the fingertips up. Rereading Justin Stone's first volumes and stuff in his words, his suggestion was that you actually bring the fingertips up, but what I'm understanding is for us to get the energy with the Reiki background I've had, We need to sometimes bring these fingertips up to here, but generally the shoulders are held down and back. So we're going to start here, exhaling. And this is a forward, so inhale forward to me and exhale back towards your back wall. And in the center, feel a little bit of a dip, releasing those knees just ever so slightly, because that's going to bring you a little bit more strongly over the bubbling well or spring. These things have many names. Let's go forward and inhale and exhale back. Now add your figure 8, which is simply a way of beginning to release the wrists and the fingers, which we'll do more of when we actually do our Qigong circles movements. But notice how this is a circle here and another circle here, making a figure 8. And all that is going on with your weight shift forward and back. That's what I think is so interesting about Eastern practices, is that they sometimes seem simple, but there's so much complexity that once you spend lots of time with it, you keep finding more beautiful parts of it. So here's a figure 8, the very important symbol for Chinese medicine, and later for Western medicine, as hopefully many of these ideas connect over time, even more than they have. So now we're doing rocking motion, because once you start, it's hard to want to stop. All right, let's stop for a second. Inhale and sink it down. Good. I do want to get back to a little bit of Qigong here. So we'll start with Buddha picks up the earth. So bringing your palms up here, a little higher than here, so that you can feel that the elbows are pretty relaxed here when you start. You're going to inhale, exhale down in a circle, come through the center on the inhale, turn the palms upside down, push up the world, look at it go with your peripheral vision. And that's Buddha picks up the earth. There's a little bit of sinking and rising that seems natural as you exhale here. As you rise, it seems natural to inhale and lengthen. As you sink, it seems natural to bring that palms down with that sinking. And the knees will also sink. It's really a big circle that's being cut in the middle through your central meridian. So let's one more, feel this inhale here. And this exhale here. And come back and ground it. Knocking at the gates can be an aerobic exercise, but we'll think about it as waking up the skin and the fascia. So bring the feet apart, and you're knocking at the gates, which are the gates to the abdomen and all your reproductive organs and everything else that's down there. And we're tapping the buttocks and back. So you might want to release your back yin leg. Good. Let's come up with the body just underneath the breast area, more or less to the beginning of the singer's breath, which is right under the ribs there, that open area, and send the energy towards your kidneys this time. Good. One more there. Let's come up to the chest. This is for the heart and lungs, especially the lungs. This is a lung point right here. Good, let's come up to the shoulders, only if it's comfortable for you. Good, and let's shake it all out from the top, bottom to the top. Shaking is really an important part of Qigong, and it's so good for us. Good, all right, now we're not done yet because we need to do the head rolls and down the body. So lengthening through your spine. To begin with, place your palms behind you and clasp them, if that's possible. Release your head down, the chin to the chest, and bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale all the way up, exhale to the left and around. I'm mirroring you, so just follow which direction we're going. And we'll just do 3 this way. And it's oblong, so really you want to bring as your ear moves towards the shoulder, you want to feel that connection to the breath, inhaling here. And then when you reach the left side, exhaling there. And then bring the chin close to the chest. Take a breath. And your chin's right at the center here. You're going to come to the left side now. And back to the right in your circle. In the back, if you have difficulty, you can also bring the shoulders up. That's a way of supporting that head when it falls to the back. And you can also release it if you're comfortable with just keeping the shoulders down. All right, when you come back to the center next time, bring the head up, look forward. And now let's bring this to the left, your left, this way. And see what's over there, over that shoulder. Your chin is now parallel to the floor. And coming back to center on the inhale. And bring the head to the opposite side. Inhale there. Come back to center. Exhale. Inhale to the opposite side really slowly. Inhale, center. And that's good, all right? We're going to bring the shoulders forward, back, up, and down. So let's start with the up and back first. And you're circling here. Now we'll go back, up, forward, and down. Feel the inhale and the exhale. And one more going back. Inhale, up, back, and down. Notice how the shoulder blades roll down the back. That's very important for relaxation. Nice. Okay, now we'll bring the arms out into a T, forward circles. Sometimes one shoulder wants to go lower than the other. You know, let your body decide how you want to do this, right? You can be uneven just because all of us are somewhat uneven. And circle the opposite way, back. Good, let it go. Shake it out again. Because each movement is apt to, depending on whether you have a good shoulders or a shoulder that's bothering you, need to be shaken out. All right, let's bring the elbows close to the body, but not touching, and just circle from the elbow down to the fingers. Forward circles. Now let's go back circles. As if you're swimming on your back. Good. Bring the elbows now into the body. We're going to isolate those wrists and fingers. This doesn't have to be fast, but if it's comfortable to go forward like this in a circle, or if it's comfortable to go like this and watch your fingers move in a circle, you can figure out what you're doing. And then let's circle slowly back here, this going back this time, and see if the circle is complete. And then if it's complete, you can go fast if you want. All right. Shake it out again. Good. Hip circles are next. Maybe a little bit wider stance, close to your rider on horse stance. And you're going to come forward, side to your right, back to the back wall, left, forward. And once you get all 4 points of the circle, you can go as evenly as you would like. This is very good for the connection between the low spine and your Ming Men area, all of that area that you need to work with in these practices. And let's go the opposite direction. Let's go to the left, back, right, forward, or whatever opposite you did the last time. Yeah, and if you put your hands back there on your hips as you move, your buttocks, that also can help you with your circle, right? You can feel that side, front, side, back movement. Good, let's shake that out. That's it. And now bringing your knees together and your feet, you're going to fold forward from the hips with a flat back. So it's kind of like that. Take hold of your knees and make gentle circles towards your right and around. That basically also trace a forward, side, back circle. Holding on to the knees. Good, and we'll go the opposite way. Let's go to the left and around. Left, forward, right, back. And then you can maybe have those go a little bit faster, but speed is not really important in this practice. Slowness is very important once we get started. And now you're going to take hold of your knees, straighten your legs without locking the knees. Come down and touch your ankles if that's possible. And then release the fingers out in front of the toes like you're just draping the laundry. And if you can touch the floor in front of the toes, great. You know, we all have different lengths of legs. So sometimes if you have short legs, you're at an advantage with this. But whatever's good for you, come back up. Slowly inhale. And we'll do the fountain. So here you're in a fairly open position. You're going to inhale here. You're at the top of the fountain. Come to the backs of the hands here. Exhale forward, folding forward from the hips, and then releasing, rounding the back. And you'll be able to touch the floor probably outside of where the toes are, this whole general area. Maybe, but you don't have to. So come halfway if that's better for you. Inhale back up, open the hands, expanding everything. On your inhale, bring the backs of the palms together. Exhale down, folding from the hips first, then rounding the back. Coming back up with the palms still open, opposite directions, and inhale. One more of the fountain. We'll go slowly today. Great. That's really fun. And I think we've covered pretty much what I wanted to do there. Yes, we did. All right, so the Buddhist Walking Meditation before we do our T'ai Chi Chih. So you're going to start over to the side of the room. Maybe you can make only 2 steps or maybe 3 to the wherever the end is for you. You're going to shift down. We'll start bending the right leg more than the left a little bit because you're going to sink this leg here into the wall. And this is going to be your left heel coming forward. Clasp the hands behind the back. Begin to shift into that leg. When you feel the knee at a point where it's not going beyond the toe, you're probably ready to release the other leg and bring the heel down, the center of the foot, the front of the foot. And the key here is to not watch it too much, but to feel it. Your left leg now. And now your last one, your right leg. Stepping so slowly, it's as if you're going to find your little ones in the woods or something. Okay, so exhale down. What are they doing over there? Shifting into your right leg now. We'll start again with the left. Release your heel, the middle of the foot, the front of the foot. It's not really a push off, but when you reach the toes, you know you've finished it in terms of the shifting through the foot. And find your way to the other side. And when you've reached the end of a carpet or the wall, you can turn around and realize how important this is for learning how to shift weight. So this is something the Buddhist walking meditation was designed so that you wouldn't need a large amount of space, but where you could practice weight shifting. It's great stuff. Okay, I think we're ready to start. T'ai Chi Chih, but let's take a drink of water first. So if we hydrate, we'll be much better off in terms of all the slowness we're going to do. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Grounding before we begin. T'ai Chi Chih. 19 movements in one pose. Prepare your forward back, up down weight shift. Rocking motion. Our principles for T'ai Chi Chih are very much under the umbrella of Qigong. Circularity, which you see in this figure 8 here. Moving from the center, which starts with the breath at the Dantian. Slowness, no place to go, typical of all meditation practices. Continuity, the forward, back, up and down shift moves rhythmically. And moving from within with inner awareness, connecting mind, body, and spirit. Feel the forward nature as you inhale towards me. Your heels have come up. As you come back, notice the back nature and your toes will rise. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Feeling your long spine The sinking in the middle, just a little tiny bit, and the rising at both sides, in the back and in the front. Testing your balance. Last one. Slowly sinking it into the earth. Double ground it. Bring it to your heart. On the inhale, and exhale down slowly towards the center, right here, of your low dantian, resting on globes of energy. Right here, right opposite that point, which begins our forward back movements, right at the center of the dantian. The point 2 inches below the belly button and 1 inch inside the body. Inhale here, feet in a V for bird flaps its wings. You'll be coming forward on the foot and releasing the heels as you exhale down. Notice the wrist circle, which is forward at the third of each of the bird dropping down here. Notice how your energy is already connecting to this slowness, and you can feel it in the whole body. Let's double ground it. That's a very slow exhale there. Let's double ground it again. Feel it come up to your heart and the lungs area on your inhale. And as you slowly release the palms down, it's a very slow exhale also. The essence of double grounding is to bring us into relaxation state, which is easy to come to once we've done the Qigong warm-up. All right, our next move is going to be forward back shifting with around the platter, which we've already looked at, but let's now let it go. 9 times on a side. Inhaling forward with me and exhaling back to your back leg. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Beautiful. See if we can connect all this. Three more. Last one on your left. I feel that we've already moved into possibility of 9 times on a side today because you've got this down. All right, now bring your right leg forward. You've shifted into the left. Around the platter, right side. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Notice how when you inhale forward, the back leg straightens and the heel comes up. As you exhale back, the front leg straightens and the toes come up. Notice how the energy is moving into this front leg and then back through the back leg. Once you get going into this, you really can feel these changes that happen in the body, coming through the body itself on the inside. Two more. Bring that leg back, sink the energy into the ground with your inhale here and your exhale slowly down towards the ground. Shifting towards your right leg. This is now the substantial leg momentarily. Your insubstantial leg will be the one to come forward because it doesn't have any weight in it. And you'll start with around the platter variation, picking up a ball of energy here at your left shoulder and sinking it through the front of the circle, which returns to your heart. Notice how slowly your fingers and wrists are moving, how the elbows and the hips seem to be moving together forward and back, how everything is coming into synchronicity, all parts working together, including the breath. Three more on this side. Last one. Beautiful. Bring the leg back. Inhale to sink it through the earth. Shifting towards your left to bring your right heel forward for around the platter variation. The ball is right at your right shoulder. It drops in the center of the circle opposite your lungs and heart. The image for learning is that we're actually doing this in chest high water. So you can imagine that. Here's the ball. You're pushing it maybe on the water, and then you're releasing the fingers in the center of the circle. The fingers are so lightly dropping. I always conceive that this is maybe a paper boat I'm pushing, and then I'm letting it go. Because softness is a very important part of Qigong. As well as the slowness. Last one. Sink it through the earth. Inhale it first. Exhale it second. And shift towards your right to bring the left forward for bass drum. Lengthen through the spine. You'll be moving that drum in a circle, which will encircle your body. So the elbows will be coming back with the hips when you draw this back. You'll be inhaling forward first. Releasing towards the right. Your left heel comes forward, bass drum. Inhaling here and exhaling back. Bringing that energy all the way through this big circle surrounding your body. Inhale from the belly and from the nostrils at the same time. Then you'll be doing the Qigong breath. Feel the forward back. Here's your inhale forward towards me. Here's your exhale back. Nice. One more here on this left side. For you, bring the foot back in. Single grounding, shifting towards your left side to bring the right leg forward. All the weight now is on this side. Ding, 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 ding. And then you're going to just release this right leg out. Yeah. It's fun to do the shifting and get it right. Some days we can, some days it's really hard. We're never the same day to day. And that's where the focus comes in. And the breath, which helps us focus. Yeah, bathe your face on this drum here as it comes up and moves back. Because to make the circle, it makes sense that the circle is going to be so large that you're letting that energy move outside your head. Here's the inhale, and here's the exhale down around the rim of the drum. 3 more. Last one. Beautiful. Inhale it, double ground it, sending it fairly firmly into the earth, but softly. Bass drum has said to be coming to a graceful conclusion, and we now come into daughter on the mountaintop, daughter in the valley. Right down there. So here we start with the palms out. We shift over to the right leg, release the left. And as we come up to the tops of the mountains to see the view, we then bring the left hand close to the heart to come through the center of the body, as if you could almost touch your central meridian with the thumb of the back hand. And the outer hand, both hands are keeping their fingertips up here as you cut this big circle of your climbing up the mountain in 2, coming down on the exhale through the central trail. Keep a long spine, perhaps the chin close to the chest here, but in terms of not sticking your head out, which I sometimes do. We want to keep a long spine and the chin parallel to the earth, also not lifting it up. But we want that connection to the cervical, thoracic, and lumbar spine to happen in one long line from the crown of the head, back of the skull, to the Ming Men. Three more. Daughter on the mountaintop. Here's two mountains. Here's the central trail. We'll be coming up that when we go through the valley. Now we honor the slowness of coming down through it. On the exhale. Two more on the left. Last one. Return the leg. Inhale to sink. To shift towards your left. And begin again with daughter on the mountaintop on the right side. Back foot, 45-degree angle to the front. Make sure the heels are not crossing in any kind of way here so that you don't get off balance. You need some space. And your left hand is still close to the heart because all meditation starts with the heart. So I think this is one big basic principle here, that we keep the left hand here twice. Because the outer circle also has meaning. Here's the inner circle, it's yours. The outer circle is someone else you love, or perhaps someone who's passed in your life, or perhaps a concept. Of connection to others. It's left vague. Vagueness is good. That means we can each figure out our own meanings, if there's any. I think there's a lot here. Inhale here, exhale down. One more here on your right side. Daughter on the mountaintop comes to a graceful conclusion. We sink it into the earth. We shift towards your right, releasing the left. For daughter in the valley, lengthen up through the spine first. Palms are above the shoulders here. Exhale them down in a circle that comes back through the center. Inhaling through the central trail forward. Exhaling back over the mountains. And notice how circularity works. This is all the big circle, even if you cut it in the center here. We still have to feel the top of it and the bottom of it. Three more on the left. Daughter in the valley. As you shift forward, the inhale comes through the center, the central meridian or chest area here, and then moves over to exhale out over the mountains. And last one on your left. Bring the foot back gently into your rider on horse position. Sink it through the earth on the exhale. Shift towards your left, releasing the energy from this other leg, and release that leg. Starting on top of the mountains to come through the valley. Inhaling here. And making sure the back foot is exactly the right length you want. Sometimes you have to alter it. Last one. Daughter in the valley will be coming to a graceful conclusion. Graceful, I think, means slowly down on the exhale. And if we're going to double ground it, slowly inhaling here and exhaling, turning the palms over to exhale down to the low dantian, resting on globes of energy. And now we come to our next side-to-side weight shift, which is carry the ball to the side. So coming over here, coming over to your right to move left 3 times with the ball. Sinking. Give yourself some space here between the legs. And now picking up your ball here, you've wound up. The weight is more or less in this front foot here because the other leg has to move out. It needs to already be light enough to do that. So it moves out as the yin leg, feminine, masculine is the bent leg. Yin and yang. The yang leg moves over here and becomes the yang leg there. Let's do one more here. And now bring in that outside leg, your yin leg, let it join the other leg, and then ground. Notice how your feet are in a V. That allows your knees to go not beyond the big toe, but you want to make sure they are already like this, protecting your knees. Winding up. Second group of 3. Bring in the foot. Inhale and release. Third group of 3. Beautiful. Feel that inhale automatic when you lengthen up like that and you sink. Now we're going to go back. Winding up, releasing your yin leg and moving towards it. It becomes yang. Bring in the yin leg. Sink. Wind up. Release. 1. On the third carry, bring in that outside foot. And we've got one more. And sink it into the earth, and we'll go back so we can get back to home here. Wind up. Release the left heel out, yin leg out here, yan where you have your ball here. And now shift it over to bring the ball to the other side. Notice how the palms are releasing, coming up in a circle and dropping. So notice the circularity of that. Lots of little things to notice. Here's circularity. Here's a circle. The palms are in a circle. Sink it. And one more. Yeah, that's it. We're getting it. And sink it into the earth. Double ground it. A little more space for your body. Our next two moves are push-pull and pulling in the energy. Push-pull is a circle. You push from the heel of the hand out. The elbows don't lock. So by not locking, then the fingertips come up. The heel of the hand turns towards you with the fingers on the inhale. And this is an exhale forward. And an inhale back. Shifting right, release the left, lengthen through the spine. Here, inhale first, and then start exhaling. This is a reverse breathing one. Inhale back to the heart in your circle. Nice. Yes, we complete the circle. We end up fairly high here. But only what's comfortable. It's almost when the circle comes back up and back that energy is coming right for you on the inhale. Enjoy it. And last one. Sink it into the earth. And double ground it. Our next one is pulling in the energy from the farthest star in the universe. Shifting right, left comes forward. Pulling in the energy. Last one. Pulling in the energy from the most distant star in the universe. Bring the left foot back. Sink it into the earth. This is like our first movement of around the platter, but the fingertips are up this time. Right heel forward. Feel the circle move outside of that foot and then back towards your other side. Outside your right leg, inhale it, exhale it back to the toes on the opposite side. If you looked out last night, you might have seen a very slivery moon and 3 stars. So you can maybe try that tonight if we have a clear night, to pull the energy in from the farthest star in the universe that we see through the fingertips. Two more. Last one. Inhale the foot back in and sink it through the earth. Shifting towards your left, bring the right heel forward. Pulling in the energy from the farthest star through the fingertips. Two more. Last one. Bring that right foot back. Inhale to sink it through the earth. Double ground it. Our next moves will be the tappies, but we'll first take a moment here to hydrate. Always have your water nearby. We're here at the tappies now. So our first is pulling tappy, then variation 1 is anchor, wrist circles, and perpetual motion. We'll first come into a standing Tadasana, mountain pose from yoga, and Qigong shared by both. Lengthen through your spine. Breathe softly for a moment, letting the water travel down, letting everything go. Feel the crown of the head lifting up towards the heavens and the feet on the earth moving towards the earth. Stand like a mountain. The best pose we can ever do when you just need to do nothing and chill out. All right, now we're going to start our first taffy, basic taffy. Couple of groundings first. Basic taffy, left hand under right elbow, left heel out to the side, yin leg, yang leg. Pull the taffy between the palms. Your underneath hand is the invite hand. Underneath the elbow now is your right hand. That's the inviting you to the right side. Remembering to sink to ground and inhale up to exhale. Inhale and exhale. The grounding is important here because it leads us right into a lower position. So sinking and rising, part of this. Sinking. And we don't rise until we get the inhale. Now inhale. There you go. Good. Sink. Pull the taffy. Rise to inhale. Ground and go back. Left hand under. The palms are crossing, and that's the taffy. The taffy is sticky, or you can think of it as heavy air that you're moving through. Here they come apart, pulled by the weight shift. The palms, that is. And you'll really feel it when you get that right foot and right hand moving here. When the energy moves to the toes in that right foot, then the other foot, it's time for it to come in. It draws the in leg in. As you begin your inhale, you're rising and sinking. Good. Two more. Very nice. Let's double ground it. One more. So you can even feel a little bit of rising for the inhale here and sinking, right? Good. Our next move is anchor taffy. You'll anchor your right leg. It won't move until you've completed the side shift. First, you go forward with the left hand under and the left foot in front. You pull the taffy, square the hips, and then move towards your left with the left hand, indicating you're invited over here. Now the other hand comes forward and the other leg, the back leg stays on the ground until it gets pulled in with a side shift. And we'll pull in the anchor now for the last time here. Feel the rising on the inhale and the sinking on the exhale. And double ground it. Our next taffy is the second variation. It's called circles taffy. You'll be sinking and rising, sinking and rising. Then you'll wind up and you'll pull your taffy towards the side. Ready? While circling from elbow to wrist. Stay down. Pull. Inhale. And sink. Rise a little bit to inhale and do it again. And last one. Ready? Wow, we're getting the sinking and rising now. It's so exciting. Let's double ground it. Now you need some space because we come to our third variation. It's called perpetual motion with heel step. So let's look at the heel step for 1 second here. You're going to shift into this leg. This leg becomes yang. This leg is yin. And when you come fully into this leg, that's when you lift this heel, flex the foot and drop it. Flex the foot is when the toes come up towards your ankle. Flex the foot and drop it. Shift completely over. Flex the other side. Yeah, the yin leg gets flexed and it comes off and then it sinks down. Yes. Flex, release. You can feel the energy move all the way to the toes, and that's when you want to release the other leg. Good. All right. Now with the arms, you're doing perpetual motion taffy. So this hand will come under here, and then you'll pull. Let's see. You pull, and then you draw that hand that was under on top of the elbow, and you pull the opposite way. But each time, the palms are passing each other. So that's it. Keep going. Perpetual motion taffy with heel step. Watch the men area. You want to have your tailbone in. You want to use your energy C for this. Use your abdominal muscles. There's a lot of grounding happening through the pelvis. Yes, good. Perpetual motion taffy. One more set here. Draw that outside foot in and inhale to release. Double ground it. The taffies have come to a graceful conclusion. We now move into working the pulley. Your right hand will be directly underneath this hip as the left hand moves from the heart, and one hand will move this way, and the other hand will have the same motion, but it's going the opposite direction. So you'll be crossing the midline here as you weight shift. It's kind of nice to start this way to know what we're going to be doing. All right, let's sink it through the earth first. And begin with your left hand forward and your right hand underneath the hip bone. And your left foot comes forward and it will be ready to move so that you can cross the body and we can connect to each other shoulder to shoulder, like tapping your shoulder. And then you tap mine. We exhale forward and we inhale back still. So exhale forward this time. Yeah, this is an exhale forward, I think. And this is an inhale as this arm passes back that front leg. It's a cross body move. So I like to really make sure that I swivel the foot. I don't want to leave my foot out here without feeling I can swivel on the ball of the foot back there and then swivel on the front heel. So swivel now on the back, swivel now on the front. So as you come forward, you swivel on the back. As you come back, you swivel on the front heel. It takes some time, at least for me, to coordinate these things. And I also have found this shorter shift forward and back helps. You don't want to torque either your ankle or especially your knee. One more. Working the pulley. It's as if you're a sewing machine. Now you're going to bring your left hand under this hip and your right hand will come from the heart area. And we could probably take this a little bit higher, but watch the shoulders. That may be more comfortable. It seems like it works better, actually. Because we still have two circles, right? One there, this one draws under, and then goes forward, and then it draws under. Well, that feels freer. Two more. Nice. Thanks. I watch you guys sometimes. I say, oh, let's try that. Let's exhale down, inhale up, and ground it into the earth. As we come to light at the top of the head, light at the temple, feet are in a V. Sinking down. This is your light up here, at the crown of the head. Sink and rise. Circling the palms. You're massaging the Tao, the symbol of the point of feminine that's in the masculine and the point of masculine that's in the feminine. Holding the symbol of light. Sink and rise. Exhale and inhale. And let it begin to go after 3 times. Out into the universe, back, coming back through the circle to your heart with the left hand on the inhale. Sink it down through the central meridian, light at the temple. Honoring your thoughts, words, and actions at the temple and your creativity. Sink and rise. Feet in a V. Circle the energy. The tips of the fingers are up, but you're circling forward. 6 to 9 times. Holding the energy. Breathe it in and sink and rise. Let it go. If the purpose of all meditation is joy, then our next movement is joyous breath. Inhale and sink it into the earth. A little wider stance, whatever you need for joyous breath. You're going to be doing an extremely yawn masculine move here, so it needs to be somewhat noisy. Inhale it. Come to the balls of the feet with your feet in a V. As much air as you can take in, and sink it out 4 times. Inhale it again. Last one. Inhale slowly, bringing your hand to the heart, left hand, sink it down slowly. As we move into passing clouds, your left hand will be up, your right hand will be down. Your feet are in a V, and you stay on the earth. Passing clouds. All things change. The mirror hand is the high one here. We actually are supposed to, in this meditation practice, not follow it. But outside, it's wonderful to follow it because you also want to follow it with the Taoist principles, which are connecting to nature. So I'll leave this to you. Brushing your elbow, perhaps, another possibility. It is kind of a forward back shift within the side to side. And come back to neutral. Inhale and release. Double ground it. You can double ground it again while I prepare this 6 healing sounds up here. And they are reminding us all what they are. They're Ho for the heart, Hu for the spleen, Su for the liver, Sh for the lungs, Shi for the triple heater, and Chui for the kidneys. Starting with your left foot and your left hand. Right hand, right foot. Shh. Shh. Repeat. Shh. Last group, 5 chuis. Heel step. Bring in the foot, mixing the energy of yin and yang and yin. And your left heel comes to your right ankle bone. for cosmic consciousness pose. Big circle, bringing your left hand closer to the heart. Elbows even, lengthening through the spine, feeling the energy in the feet and the head coming up through the head, also the crown of the head. Holding this 30 seconds is the directions, but we'll use the Seijaku here, where it's the advanced form. You interlace the fingers, bring them overhead. In gratitude for Qigong, 5,000 years, Tai Chi, 600 years, and the connection that was made between Wenshan Wang, Chinese Cultural Institute in America, and his teachings with Justin Stone, who composed T'ai Chi Chih in 1974, with gratitude to many, many teachers, many thousands of years. The roots of this practice are no doubt ancient. So thank you all for your practice. We'll shake it out for a second, let it go. Hold ourselves in mountain position for a moment. And gratitude to everyone here.